Hello everyone, Amphiator here, and welcome to my Let's Play series on Factorio. This video series is a long time coming, as this has proven to be one of the most endearing and addictive games I have ever played. Even 1,000 hours in, I've barely scratched the surface of what it has to offer. Now, one of the reasons I started making YouTube videos in the first place was to share my love of a broad range of video games with my friends and family. So I find myself explaining what I'm doing and why, much like a walkthrough. While this has led me to create walkthroughs for a number of games, the time investment and multiple playthroughs it requires can lead to serious burnout. For that reason, I offer no guarantees on how long this series will run or how often I will upload. Beginning a new game in Factorio offers a wide range of game scenarios to choose from, including a tutorial that I hope eventually gets expanded on. Free play, however, is the intended way to play Factorio. Starting a new game procedurally generates a game world using a map seed, not unlike Minecraft. The depth of customization options, however, allows you to curate your own gameplay experience, anywhere between a peaceful world with cheat-like tools to one where every living thing that crawls, flies, or squats in the mud wants to kill you and eat your eyes with jujubes. So we'll reuse a seed I recently played on that provides a good starting area. Check the video description down below if you want to use the same seed. Now, when Factorio first came out, the main goal of the game was to get off this planet that we have crash-landed on by building a rocket silo. And to accomplish that, we had to basically collect resources, craft various items to accomplish that. But with the release of the Space Age expansion, the game has grown far more ambitious and open-ended. And so now you can explore other planets which have their own ecologies, their own natives to deal with, and their own building mechanics that make the game so much more interesting. For now, though, I'm going to hit Tab, and I'm going to press the Alt key. Alt mode allows us to see what items are within containers. And if I hold Control and walk around with the left mouse button held, I can pick up items. I can also just click on them as well, but the faster way is definitely to click and drag. I'm going to head west a little bit, and we have our first big rock. This has stone in it. This will be what we need to use to craft some of our early items. Another thing that we have is the destruction planner. This is usually used for bots to tear apart buildings and other things that you might want to reuse. But in this case, I can use it to highlight parts of the map to see what is in the map. And in this case, I can see the black stuff there, which is coal. So I am looking for some of that. On the right-hand side, we can see that the rock I'm moused over right now is going to give me around 37 coal. It's not exact, but close enough for government work. I'll also grab a couple more of these stone items here because inevitably we're going to need a lot of stone. And then I'm going to go ahead and press the E key. And I can begin building stone furnaces. I can also see what's currently in my character. So their inventory. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over to the toolbar for easy access. And then we're going to start crafting. So I can craft an item by left-clicking, 5 of that item by right-clicking, or I can shift left-click to craft all that I have the resources for. Otherwise, we're going to head over to the east while we're going and doing some crafting at the bottom left. And here you can see that we've got access to copper, access to coal, access to stone, and access to iron. So we're going to want to set up some iron smelting because we're going to need iron plates to do a lot of the cool stuff in the game. I'm going to have the burner miner directly feed the stone furnace. Now, one of the reasons why I built so many stone furnaces is because it is also the foundation, one of the key structural ingredients to burner mining drills and a couple of other recipes in this game. So building lots of those will be important. Now, I need to feed these because, as you can see, they're out of fuel. I can click on them. I can drop in all that I have almost to this one machine. Not very efficient, though. especially if I need to go in through and click on all the other buildings. Likewise, I need to be able to take the result out as well. So what I can do is I can click on the item so it's in my hand and then hold Control. And if I left click, it will drop whatever is in my hand into the machine. If I don't have anything in my hand, whenever I left click and Control and left click, it will pick up whatever items are there. However, this is still too much coal. I can also do Control and right click to put in half of a stack, but this is also still too much coal. I really only need about 5 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, press the Z key, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and now both have about 5 in them. And we're going to go ahead and build more of these. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we also want to build more burner mining drills. You can use the Q key like I just did to highlight an item that's already on the battlefield, and that will pick it up into your hand so you can place more of them. If you don't have any of them in your inventory, or if you press shift before you place it, it will place a ghost. This can help you plan your buildings, but later, whenever we have the ability to make bots, construction bots, they will actually be able to build things for you. But for now, we're going to go ahead and use that as our placement. We're going to go ahead and build a couple more mining drills. And we're starting to run low on coal. So we're going to want to go get some more. I'll go ahead and kick off another building. We're going to go ahead and walk over to the east. And looks like there's some big rocks over here. Oh yeah, that's a lot. Okay, cool. So we got another huge rock to grab here. Again, we'll go ahead and craft more stone furnaces. Another rock here that's got some coal in it. Another one. So we just unlocked steam power. So if I press the T key, this gives me access to my research pane. Now the first several research items just require me to do certain things. I can collect, in this case, 50 iron plates, which gives me access to most of the steam power requirements. However, to get further along, I'll need to also unlock electronics. This gives me the ability to build things like electric poles, labs, which I can research more stuff in, as well as inserters, which will grab from one machine and place into another machine. In addition, once I have access to labs, I will also be able to start building science packs. Now, there are multiple different recipes here. These are research things that require a certain number of science packs. So I'll need to craft science packs and then feed the lab machines in order to research these things. So we'll get into that more whenever we get closer to being able to research stuff. Otherwise, though, let's keep building more stone furnaces. Now we're also going to want to start collecting some wood. And we're actually going to be building in this area down here. So as we build stuff up here and run out of resources, we'll go down there while we're waiting for stuff to progress. These are also going to be used if you intend to build electric poles. You can also use these as a source for fire. However, one of the things to be aware of is that if you go to the map screen, you are going to see a pollution cloud that you are generating. And depending on how far this pollution cloud has spread and where your enemies are relative to you, We might need to focus on military sooner than later. Looks like we're pretty far away. One of the benefits of the trees, by the way, is they suck up or absorb some of the pollution that you create, making it spread less. So just outright destroying trees is not the greatest thing in the world unless you have plans like we do here. All right, so that gives me what I need there. We're going to go ahead and head up a little bit to the north. We're going to craft another one of these, and we're actually going to... we're going to place these facing each other. These can collect up to 50 apiece, and they'll keep supplying each other, so they'll never actually die. And then we're going to head up here, and we're going to go ahead and grab some copper. We really only need a couple. One other thing is I'm being cautious about how much I'm building, both because we're not going to use burner mining drills very long, and because they create pollution that we don't necessarily need right now. Now, you'll notice at the top right that that's beginning to complete our electronics research. That'll also be used for several things that we need to build. The next thing really that we need to focus on, though, is we need electric power. So we're going to go ahead and build one boiler. One boiler can provide enough steam for 20 steam engines. I'm sorry, for 2 steam engines. So we're going to build 2 of those. And then the offshore pump provides enough water to the boiler for 20 boilers. So that's going to be kind of the ratio that we build towards. But for now, we're just going to be starting off with 1 of these, 2 of these, and 1 of these. We're also going to need some electric poles. Or I need a lot more than that. So let's go back up here, grab some more. We'll build about 25 of those. We also are going to need a couple of pipes. And then once we've got the resources, we're going to go ahead and build our first lab. So we're going to build our first lab now. And we should have the resources now to head over. We're going to go ahead and build some iron chests. Need about 5 of those. So heading over to the water line, we are going to drop down an offshore pump. You might need more pipes in order to build, but in this case we have enough room. And I'm going to build the 2 steam engines with 1 pipe in the middle. This is because of the placement that I'm going to pick for the electric poles to try to be more efficient. Now, the plan for the electric poles and for the steam engines and for the boiler is going to be to build something like this. I'm pressing Control-C in order to copy the configuration that I have here. And then we're going to build this. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So eventually this is what our layout's going to look like here. So we'll go ahead and continue running a line over. I did, by the way, drop in some coal into that machine, which will help power most of our buildings. So now we have the automation science packs. Let's go ahead and make 10 of those. Once we have the resources, we're going to make 10 more and another lab. So another lab, 10 more. The next thing that we need to focus on is we need about 40 inserters. All right, so we're going to go ahead and plant that, drop in our first 10 into there, and then we're going to press T. Now we're going to decide what do we want to research. And again, it boils down right now to how close is our pollution cloud to the enemy. And right now it's way far away, so we are just fine at the moment. We're going to go ahead and research automation first. Then we'll do military. Then I like to do electric mining drills. And then I like to do gun turrets. So automation allows us to have a building that crafts things for us using the same recipes that we're crafting ourselves. So we basically have to find ways to feed those machines to each other, in which case we're going to be using the inserters for that. Military will grant us access to better weapons, in this case a machine gun and a shotgun. The electronic mining drills will replace the burner mining drills. That way we don't have to constantly feed them with coal. And then gun turrets can be refilled with magazines, and we can also use them to destroy bases by kind of planting them on the outskirts of a base and slowly encroaching on the enemy's base with them. That's a really good tactic early on for dealing with more difficult bases. So for now, we're going to keep kind of doing the same thing. Now have our second lab. 2 labs will make research happen faster. Eventually we'll have about 30. We're going to need, as I said, more of these. We got 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. Five, 30, 35, 40. Let's see, that has 1, that has 5. Let's feed number. The next thing that we want to add to our build list is going to be the assembly machines. We're going to need 8 of those for the design that I like to create. So I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of what the design looks like that I like to create. Go ahead and place a few common items on our toolbar here, including the assembly machines. So I like to do this. And as I go through this, I will explain what exactly we are doing here. So, let's see. Should I take that back? It'll be that. Backwards. I'm pressing R, by the way, to shuffle the direction of these. You'll notice that they're going to pull from, in this case, the left and place to the right. So you want to basically control what direction they are moving stuff to and from. All right, so we can build 4 of those right now. Grab some more copper. And 4 more on the way. After that, we're going to be building another boiler, another pair of steam engines, and another pipe. So let's talk about what exactly we're about to do here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to place these like this. And what we are doing is we want to build transport belts. Transport belts are built 2 at a time, 2x transport belt recipe. And this recipe requires 1 iron plate, which is what we're getting from these stone furnaces, and 1 iron gear wheel, which we're going to configure this to build. Now, iron gear wheels require 2 iron plates, so I have 2 of these buildings providing iron plates to this. Now, later we're going to be creating science packs. In fact, we'll go ahead and move these to where they're going to be now. And eventually we're going to be feeding these science packs. And so these will be science packs. And if I hold shift and I right click, I can copy with shift and left click, which is paste, to another building, telling it what I want it to build. Now, the next few buildings, let's go ahead and power up that, and then we're going to go ahead and hit this chest, and we're going to limit this to 3 stacks, which will be about 300 transport belts. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we want to have automated inserters. We're going to be using a lot of those. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have this crafting inserters. However, inserters require 1 iron plate, which we're obtaining from these. We need 1 iron gear wheel, which means we're going to have to repeat the recipe up here. So we're going to go ahead and make this an iron gear wheel. And then we also need electronic circuits. So electronic circuits require both iron plates, which again we're already getting from here. So I'm going to go ahead and feed that iron plates. And then we also need copper cables. So this will end up being copper cables, which require copper plates. So we're going to eventually bring some resources down from up here down here. But first we need to deal with our electricity problem. Alright, so we're going to grab some resources there. A little further. Go ahead and pick up some transport belts. And a little further down, I think there are some more. So worth mentioning, we're eventually going to be getting attacked at some point, so I'm going to build some light armor, about 15 more ammo, a submachine gun, a shotgun, and eventually some more shotgun shells. So we'll let that run in the background. Now we're going to head back over to the west, and we're going to expand as well as refill. Probably getting pretty close to empty. 35. That's we haven't been using much yet. Okay. Oh, gotta refill it. Alright, so now we are situated for a little bit. Later when we come back, we will actually double our pig. Another one of these. So now that we got the ammo created, we're going to go ahead and shift the pistol back into our ammo. We'll actually ditch it later. And then we're going to go ahead and equip the submachine gun. I am going to want more magazine ammo, so we'll build about 25 more of that. Let's talk about the rest of this build out. So we're going to go ahead and place these. Place this, place this. As you can see, because we had already planned out what we were doing, it automatically assigned each of these buildings to build something specific. So we're going to go ahead and fix our power pole situation. And now we're going to want to get automated red science packs. All right. So we're going to go ahead and run some belts. And I'm rotating with the R key, just like you do with the inserters. We're going to bring these up here, and we're actually going to modify this configuration just a little bit. We're going to send out the output. Like that. We're also going to need more electric poles. So now we have a pretty healthy amount of these coming out right now, considering that we're only grabbing 2 at a time. But that'll be enough to power the creation of our labs. And that's going to be important for getting our electric mining drills up, because that is going to be what is the biggest stoppage right now for us. Now, labs are going to require a lot of electronic circuits, as well as a lot of iron gear wheels. You know what? We forgot to place a chest there, and we've limited it. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to go collect more of what's down here. We'll use these trees both for fuel as well as for more power poles. Now, to give you an idea as to how far down we are going to be building, I'm going to start some miners around here. And I want to build 24 in total. So I'm going to leave that as kind of my my guide for now. All right, we are almost cooking. We'll be able to shift around the usage of our coal mining here in a few minutes as well. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and build as many of these as we can. And what we're going to begin doing is shifting away from these and moving these over to start managing coal. We will still need to collect coal. Is that not 10? No, it's 11. I was wondering why it seemed like I had more than I needed. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and stick with that, and we're going to go ahead and bid 6, 7, 8 for now. Actually, we'll do 7. Don't need that. So that's going to produce a lot more, a lot faster. And now we're going to take all of our burner mining drills and we're going to make a snake out of them. So these are all feeding each other in a loop. We now have gun turrets. Let's talk about what we're going to do next. So what we do next is not that important, but I tend to just simply start working my way through all of the research. If you are in a rush, you could definitely go for a projectile, but they do take a long time to research to increase your projectile weapon stuff. So up to you if you want to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and start doing them in the order they're listed. First, we have lights. If you want to use them, you can decorate your environment. When it gets dark, these will also light up the area. We don't need them yet, but stone walls can protect us, especially early on from enemies, though really you should have turrets or something else defending so that the stone walls don't get destroyed. Logistics allows us to create underground pathways as well as to split a belt into 2 halves and send things down their own separate belts. Radars will actually expand our view distance and periodically recheck what's around us. Whereas we can travel, but once we leave that area, if enemies start encroaching in that area, we're not going to see it. So it's really important to build radars. The ability to repair stuff is important, as it's going to get damaged eventually. This allows you to repair things like turrets, buildings, things like that. We have fast inserters, which will improve the performance of our normal inserters. We also have the steel processing, which is going to be required for nearly every other important thing in the game. So we'll be researching that. And then Logistics Science Pack will unlock the ability to research anything that has a green icon on it. So we'll have to be creative and get basically automation started on both red and green circuits. We'll worry about that later. Alright, so we should be crafting quite a bit now. We'll go ahead and keep doing electric mining drills. So in furnaces, we are going to need to expand our stuff here soon. So I'm going to go ahead and build a burner inserter. We'll go ahead and do 2 boilers, 1, 2, 3, 4 steam engines. We're going to be doubling our current output. And then we are going to be transitioning this over as well. That's probably enough. I don't think we're going to need that many for now. So that will speed up that process, and go ahead and fully fill these. Let's see, how are we doing? We are getting closer. We also can't see what's going out to the east, so I'm going to go fill up and upgrade our power, since we are going to be running out soon. And then we'll head out and go start taking out some bases. So 1725, that's actually pretty good. So what we're going to want to do as well is we want to expand this to start feeding coal automatically to these, so we don't have to keep coming back. So we're going to go ahead and drop this stuff down. Oh, I never did build. So, little trick. I don't usually use burner inserters at all in this game, with one exception. And that is, we want to make sure that if we run out of resources that are coming in via this path here, that we can get the power started back up. Otherwise, you will need to come back down here and manually insert your coal. So if I take the coal and I place it on the belt using Z, what you'll notice is that this burner miner inserter will feed itself first, then it will feed the machine. This will basically keep itself filled, keep itself topped off with power, and then it can feed whatever it needs to feed. So that can jumpstart your base in the event that you happen to lose power unexpectedly. Otherwise, once we build all the rest of these, we will be completing basically 20 of these in total. Alright, so we've got some more electric mining drills. I'm going to go ahead and start with 3. Actually, we're going to need more transport belts, so let's head down here, collect some more. Now we're also running low on power. We now have quite a bit of this happening now, so we can fully power these things. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and run let's do a plan. 2, 3. Alright, so that's got power. So we now have automated coal coming in. So what we're going to want to build now, let's get a bunch of electric poles started. We're going to need some more iron chests. We're going to need some more electric drills. And let's talk about what the next kind of big move is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and start investigating kind of the outskirts. Once I come back, I'm going to start working towards building out this. So this is going to be... It's 10. 24. Then rinse and repeat. That way. I'm holding shift, and what that will do whenever you place these is it'll mark things that are in the way to be removed by your bots, or just to help you see what's going to need to be removed for you to actually implement this. So this is going to be a total of 48 stone furnaces, 24 per side. And it will take 30 electric mining drills to fully fill both lanes. And we're going to want all of that in iron plates. Because we got to grow the factory. The factory must grow. Alright, so what we're going to be doing now is working towards having, I would say, 75 ammo. Let's go for some more shotgun ammo as well. Could automate this as well if you wanted to make more, but for now we should not need that much. Oh, one of these is already out. So this symbol means that it's consumed all of the coal or whatever resources it's sitting on. So we'll go ahead and place that there. Again, I don't want to place too much stuff because that will grow our pollution cloud faster than we currently need. So I'm going to explore right now. That way we can see how far enemy stretches out. And how far pollution stretches out too. There is a base. So something to be aware of is if you have fish, you can heal yourself. So we're actually going to go collect some fish because we definitely have an enemy there that's kind of close. We might take care of the other ones that are northwest of us as well. As you can see, we are starting to pile up because we're not using all of our resources. That's okay, it'll just wait. And again, as we grow this line, we'll have plenty of resources. Now fish, by the way, if you highlight them in the menu, they have a freshness value. They will turn into spoilage over time. So you definitely want to use them. But as you can see, it takes like 2.5 hours for that to happen. And that's a real in-game time, so. see, we got 15 here. 5 more. Oh, looks like we're out on here too. Expand this as well. Unfortunately, I built an extra one that I did not mean to build, so that's okay. Oh, we did actually need that. Now we can build there. Okay. So let's go knock out this base to the east of us. I think that would be a good idea. So as you can see, as you get close, they will attack you. And they will respawn from the biter spawners. There are also these underground enemies that spit acid at you. Those are the most dangerous of the enemies. So let's go ahead and put our fish on the toolbar. You can press the C key, by the way, to switch weapons. For these biters, if you have a lot of them, the shotgun can be effective, but the shotgun is otherwise normally really effective against some of these early buildings. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to get overwhelmed if you're not careful. I usually just switch between the two weapons as the spawns happen. Now we have an enemy base destroyed. These things will get much more complicated later. Eventually you get tanks, and you'll get the ability to drive through enemies. You'll get shields on your tanks. You'll get weapons. You'll get flamethrowers. All sorts of cool stuff. So that is east. Let's see if there's anything northeast. Now, eventually, we're going to want to get radar dishes built up. One of the benefits of those is that they will repeatedly scan the areas around them, whereas when you leave an area, you won't be able to see what's being built up in that area if enemies start to move in. And at least right now, we are very, very slow on foot, so that will, of course, be something we can fix later. Alright, so there is another base. That one's a little larger than what we are probably capable of dealing with. So we are definitely going to want to build some gun turrets. So these being the most dangerous thing, we want to get them dead really quickly. Now, one thing to be aware of is that as you kill off all of these bases, this will increase the evolution speed of all of the other bases in the game. So I would not expand in general too far out from your pollution cloud, only as far as you absolutely need to. In addition, though, if your pollution hits the enemy, they will undergo mutation fairly quickly, so it will also become aggressive. Start seeking out your base. So, one way or the other, we want to avoid that. Alright, there's another base southwest of us. It's a little larger than I would like. We are, however, going to be building a lot of stuff south of here, so we will need to clean up this area. Oh, hey, uranium. It's going to be a long time before we get uranium. But that unlocks some of the really cool, I would say, mid to late game tech on this first world. We're below our pollution cloud now. Alright, so I think we are good. In the next episode, we are going to begin working on some of these larger bases, because we're going to begin transitioning to gun turrets as a way to clear them out. We are also going to begin expanding our steam power electricity solution. We're going to start building this. We're going to make another one, or a half one anyway, for us to have a lot more of this copper plate. And then we are also going to be moving a lot of this stuff down there where it will be a lot more efficient. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.